everybody. Welcome to your yoga practice this afternoon. So today I've had a request to do a bit of a session who are running and they want to do yoga as part of their cross training. So we're going to focus on that a little bit today. Yoga practice for those who've been doing some runs. A bit of focus on the mobility side of things as always, working on some common areas that get really tight for runners, like the calves, the feet, the ITB, the hamstrings, the lower back. And also we'll do some conditioning work as well for areas that can really help with your efficiency as a runner, and particularly looking at like the side core and some of the lateral kind of hip stability. If you're not a runner, this will still be a great practice for you. It kind of encompasses a little bit of everything. So hope you enjoy. We're going to start this practice today in crocodile pose. We're going to work a little bit with our diaphragmatic breathing. So come to lie on your tummy and stack your palms, rest your forehead on your hands. And you can take your feet a little bit wider towards the edges of your mat if you're on a yoga mat today. Let the forehead rest down. And go ahead, just start to settle in there. Let your breath begin to filter down through your nose into your belly. And with the feedback of the floor, begin to breathe into the floor so that as you breathe in, you feel the belly gently pressing down and outwards into the mat. And as you breathe out, feel the belly gently recoil, the lower back soften. And just continue there. We'll take a few cycles here, really exploring that circumferential breath, that 360 breath, filling up the front, the sides, and the back as you breathe in. Feeling the front, the sides, the back just soften as you breathe out. As always, our diaphragmatic breath is just a great baseline to come back to help with recovery. So particularly if you are doing a little more intensive exercise at the moment, really important to cultivate these states of rest in the nervous system via the breath. And then just take one more deep breath into your belly here. And then go ahead, just bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Let's come back to the hands and the knees. And now for this next one, we're going to come into toe squat. Probably everyone's least favorite yoga pose. So we're going to tug the toes under here, and you might just need to do a little manual adjustment here. Make sure that your toes are all pointing straight forwards, and just let your hips sit on your heels. And just notice if the heels have a tendency to drift outwards, so gently hug the inner heels in. Just going for a nice stretch through the toes into the soles of the feet, into the plantar fascia here. Taking again a few deep diaphragmatic breaths. Be here for just under a minute. Relax your shoulders, try to soften your jaw. The feet are often a really underlooked part of our cross training and our recovery, but of course with anything where you're working with your legs, and obviously particularly through your feet when running, really important that we make sure that the feet remain supple and mobile so that we don't get some transference of issues up into the legs, shin splints being a really common one, or plantar fasciitis as well. Great, and then just lean forwards into your hands, and we'll untug the toes this time if you need to, just give them a little light tap on the floor to release. And then this time coming back towards kneeling position here, sitting your hips on your heels. Now, by all means, if you need to put padding underneath your bum, if you need to get like a blanket or a cushion, grab that. Also behind the knees can be really helpful if the knees are a bit tight or stiff, the quadriceps are tight. So option one, you can stay here. Option two, if you're feeling good, to walk the hands back and maybe lift the knees up as well. Again, that will depend a little bit on the mobility of your ankle joint. So again, never forcing anything, just working with with kindness and patience. Remember that it doesn't all have to happen today, right? If you're up for it and up for the challenge, yoga is a lifetime journey. Movement is a lifetime process, exploration. I'm just feeling into maybe a nice stretch across the quads, or maybe even to the tops of the ankles, the front of the ankles here. Another couple of breaths. And then gently release the knees on down. Now from here, I'm going to come into like a half squat position. So come towards the back of your mat, and we'll step the right foot forwards on the floor, almost like as if you were going to do a sprint. And I'm going to tuck the left toes under and bring again the weight back in towards the left heel. So my right heel and my left knee are relatively lined up about hip width apart. And then using the hands for stability, we're going to start to walk the hands forwards and bring that right knee down towards the floor. And then walk the hands back and explore, this time picking up your left knee and sinking down through your left heel. And we'll go through this a few times, just moving back and forth. You can go again pretty slow or a little faster. Just really now integrating some of that connection between the ankles, the knees, and the hips, so getting these joints to really communicate efficiently with each other. Great, and then next time you come towards the back of your mat, now this time keeping the fingertips on the floor, I'm going to drive through that front leg and slowly begin to lift the hips up. And maybe you kind of get to this position, it really just depends on how the right hamstrings are, or maybe you're starting to work that front leg a little straighter. Again, just work within your range of motion, and then come back down into that sort of half squat. Just going through this a few times. Again, just warming things up. You might get a little crepitus, a little crackling in the knee joint, as long as it's not painful. That's the main thing. If it is painful, stay within a much smaller pain-free range of motion. Got a couple more here, just oiling up the joints and warming up the thighs as well. Great. And then next time you come back down into your little half squat, let's switch over the legs, bringing the right leg back, left foot on the floor, your right toes are tucked under, left heel in line with your right knee, and then again using your hands to support you, rocking forwards, bringing the left knee down towards the floor, and then rocking back, picking up the back knee, the right knee as you come back. And again, just going through this a few times. I'm going with reasonable speed, but again, work with what makes sense for your body. If your yoga practice is much more of a calming, restorative kind of cross-training practice for you, a little slower is really nice. If you're wanting to get a little bit more heat in your body today, then moving obviously a little quicker. Always within control though. Okay, the next time you come all the way back into that little half squat position, root the fingertips down, slowly start to press up through the hips, working the front leg towards straight, and then sinking back down into that little half squat. Again, gently coaxing the hamstrings on that left leg to start to release. Let's go one more here. And then gently coming back down. And then coming all the way forwards now onto your hands and your knees. And let's just start to warm up the spine a little here. So spread the fingers, knees underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders. Start with some cat-cow on your inhale. Soften your belly, lift your chest. And on your exhale, round through your spine. Keep going there, just finding, again, a rhythm that supports the fullness, the full expression of your breath. And then once you've gone through this a few times, I invite you to sort of incorporate a little bit more movement in all sorts of different planes. So maybe exploring some side bending type movements, some circles,
So if you're keeping your hands and your knees in position, but then pretty much allowing anything else to move, you might visualize your spine sort of floating within the center of your body, working into all these different kinds of movements. Nice thing about practicing at home is that you can do this in solitude, so you don't have to feel self-conscious about other people watching you. Just let the movement and the breath guide you from within. And then coming all the way back now to your neutral position, and let's start to just incorporate a little bit more hip work here. So keep the tummy muscles lifting up, front ribs lifting up, so core and trunk stay nice and stable. I'm going to open this right knee out to the side, and then take the right leg back behind you. Keep your right knee bent, and keep reaching it back behind you until you can feel your right glute muscles engage. And then slowly bring it back out to the side, and then we'll lower it back to the floor. So just keep going with that right side, lifting it up to the side, sweeping it back, so you're reaching your right foot over towards the left side of the room, back out to the side, and bringing it down. Keep going there, just moving, again, steadily. Try to keep your arms straight, the weight is even between your hands, your belly nice and strong. Oh, good hip click. And let's go one more. And then we'll switch over the sides. Inhale, take the left leg, left knee out to the side, and then sweep the left leg behind you, reaching your left foot over towards the right side of the room. Feel your left glute engage, left glutes engage, and then come back out to the side, and then lower it down. And again, keep going here. So again, I'm trying to keep the rest of my body pretty stable here, really isolating this work in the muscles of the left outer hip. Such a useful area to work on when you're doing a lot of running to keep strong. Our glutes are very much linked to the health of our knees. Let's go one more here. And then lower the left leg all the way down. Let's come back to toe squat just for a moment. Interlace your hands and roll your wrists around. If you need to come off your toes, you can untuck your toes, or you can lift your hips up and be in a high kneeling position. And then just roll the wrists around the other way. Okay, now working a little bit more into our kind of side body here. We're going to come up into this high kneeling position. So toes can be tucked under or untucked. You can play with both and see which one you prefer. And I want you to imagine this straight line, this skewer through your spine from the crown of the head down to the tailbone. And we want to try to keep this intact. So we want to avoid kind of back bending or collapsing into the lower back here. So front ribs hug in, torso nice and engaged. We're going to inhale, hands in prayer, lean back a little until you feel your quads and your abdominals start to engage. And as you exhale, we're going to twist towards the right a little and stretch the arms out to the sides. Then inhale as you come back through center. Again, lean back and then twist, exhale to the left side, arms extending out. Inhale, come back through center. So exhale, lean back and twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, lean back and twist. Inhale, center. Keep going there, a few of these. So again, quite a lot of work for the quads, quite a lot of work for the front abdominals here, and starting to incorporate some nice rotation through the upper back. Again, you don't need to lean back very far here. Again, we're trying not to back bend. So keeping the body in this nice straight line from the knees all the way through the crown of the head. Let's go one more each way. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Bringing the hands all the way back down towards the floor. Coming back into quadruped. Now next one here, let's extend the right leg back behind. Again, keep the front ribs lifting away from the mat. Square the hips towards the floor. And then either stay here or option to reach your left arm out in front for bird dog. Now take an in breath, and on your exhale, I'm going to bring your right knee in. If you're extending your left arm, you're going to tap your left elbow in towards your right knee. And then inhale, extend it out. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, extend out. Keep going. So this works again, some really lovely cross-body patterning, some nice coordination. Works the kind of left brain, right brain hemispheres. And again, recruiting some nice strength across the back of the body here, particularly the muscles that support the spine. Let's go a couple more on this side. Next time you extend out, just pause there, linger for a moment, and then set everything back to the floor. Let's try the other side. Inhale, reach the left leg back, front ribs hug in and up. Press the floor away with both arms. Maybe add the right arm, optional extra. Take a breath in, and on your exhale, pull your left knee in. If you're extending your right arm, curl in and tap. Inhale, extend out. Trying to keep, again, the torso relatively still, avoiding any big back bending in the lower back. Use the power of the out breath, the power of the exhalation to cinch into the midline, and then the power of the inhale to extend out from the midline. Let's go 3 more. And then set everything back towards the ground. Okay, from here, work the hands a little forwards at the shoulders, turn the index fingers forwards. Let's tuck the toes, and I'm going to come into our first downward facing dog. Hover the knees just slightly, and then slowly lift the hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. Feet can go a little bit wider than hip width, particularly if your hamstrings are slightly tighter, a slightly wider stride. And then bend your right knee deeply and just stretch your left leg as long and straight as it will comfortably go. Extend your left heel towards the floor. Don't worry if the left heel doesn't touch the mat. I'm just going for that nice extension down the back of the left leg. And then we'll switch, bend the left knee and extend the right leg out, again as long as it will go. Pressing through the hands, pressing the top of your right thigh back. And then coming back to regular downward facing dog, let's bend the knees and look forwards, and we'll step the feet little by little all the way up towards the top of the mat. And once you get there, separate your feet to hip width apart. Put as much of a bend in your knees as you need to so that your chest and your belly can come towards your thighs. And then you might stay here with the hands on the floor or hands on your shins. If you've got yoga blocks, you could bring your hands to blocks. Or if it feels okay for your back, you might grab your forearms, your elbows, and just let the body hang, coming into a ragdoll. A few deep breaths here again, maybe swaying a little side to side. As I say, if you feel like your back needs more support, just keeping your hands on your legs. Relax the head and the neck, take another deep breath here. And then relaxing the hands down, and we'll draw the belly back to the spine, slowly rolling up the spine now, one vertebrae at a time. If you know this is not good for your back, if you prefer to come up with a straight spine, that's also fine. Otherwise, stacking the bones of your spine one at a time, and slowly coming all the way up to stand. Great. All right, facing to the front of your mat. I'm just going to turn to face you guys. I'm going to inhale, reach your arms up over your head, and hold onto your right wrist with your left hand. You're going to inhale into that right side, and on your exhale, we're going to side bend over to the left. Finding a nice opening here through the side body. Inhale as we come back up through center. Switch hands, hold the left wrist. Exhale, side bend over to the right. Try to keep the hips square to the front of the mat. And then inhale, come all the way back up through center. Let's go one more time. Hold on to the right wrist. Exhale, side bend to the left. Front ribs hug in. Inhale, come back through center. Switch hands, hold the left wrist. Exhale, lift up and over to the right. Feeling that opening down the whole left seam of your body. Inhale, come all the way back through center. Exhale, forward fold, bend your knees a little and bow over your legs. Inhale to a halfway lift, extend, lengthen through your spine. And on your exhale, step your right foot to the back of your mat and lower your right knee down onto the floor. We're just going to get into the hip flexors here, which are, again, for runners, often a key area to both learn how to release and to stretch out, and also oftentimes to strengthen as well. So I want you to feel into the back knee, and if you need to pad up your back knee, please do. And you're going to push your right knee down into the floor, and without moving it, imagine you're dragging your right knee forwards towards your left heel. And you should feel the front of your hip engage and contract a little bit. Hold it there for another 3, 2, 1, and then exhale, relax completely, and see if you can let your hips sink in maybe a little bit deeper. And it might be very marginal, it might not be much physical change to the pose. And then let's try that one more time. So again, push your right knee down, and imagine you're trying to drag your right knee forwards towards your left heel. Hold that, feel the front of the right hip engage. 3, 2, 1, and then relax completely. And again, see if there's a little more sense of give in the front of that right hip. Then from here, tuck your back toes, straighten your back knee up away from the floor. And on your inhale, round your right hand, open your left arm up and find a twist. Let's take a breath here, extending through the top arm, turning the belly ribs to the left. And then exhale, lowering the left hand down. Now spin your right heel flat to the floor. And on your inhale, I'm going to come into reverse warrior. Bending your left knee, stretch your left arm up over your head, and side bend over your back leg. Keep that left knee pointing forwards, sink low through your hips. And then on your exhale, wiggle your hands back around. Let's come back into that revolved twist. Pivot to the ball of your back foot. Inhale, open your left arm up towards the sky. On your exhale, lower your left hand down and step back into downward facing dog. Take the hips up and back. Now on your inhale, come forwards into plank pose. Bring your shoulders right over your wrists. And on your exhale, shift to your tiptoes. Option to set the knees down or keep them lifted. Chaturanga, bend your elbows and come all the way down onto your belly. And hands alongside your ribs here. Roll your shoulders off the mat. And on your inhale, lift your right leg up and your head and chest up. And do a little one-legged locust variation. And then exhale, lower that all the way down. Inhale, lift the left leg, lift the head and the chest. The back of the left hip engage. And then exhale, lower that down. Now this time lift both legs on your inhale. Try to straighten your knees, lift your chest, roll your shoulders down your back. And then exhale, lower back down. Tuck the toes under. Inhale, come back to hands and knees. And exhale back to downward facing dog. 2 or 3 breaths. Sensing and feeling. Spread the toes, spread the hands. And then on your next inhale, bend your knees, look forwards, and step your feet up towards the top of your mat. Slide your hands up to your shins. Inhale to find a halfway lift. And on your exhale, forward fold. Bending the knees as much as you need, fingertips to the floor. This time, step your left leg to the back of the mat and lower your left knee down. Coming back into this low lunge. Just check that your front knee is over your front heel. And then lean your hips forwards. Once you've found your kind of end range there, push your left knee into the floor, and without moving it, try to drag your left knee forwards towards your right heel. Feel that engagement in the front of the left hip. Sometimes the hamstrings will take over a little bit as well. I want you to keep this as much as you can about the front of the hip contracting. And then gently release, relax, and see if you can let the hips just sink and soften a little more towards the mat. And then again, pull the hips back slightly, push the left knee down, and drag it forwards without moving it. Feel the front of your left hip engage. And then again, relax and release and let that left hip sink a little more towards the floor. Now from here, straighten the back knee, Keep the left hand grounded. Inhale, open your right arm up towards the sky. Find a twist, turning belly, heart, and ribs to the right. And then next exhale, lower your right hand down, spin your back heel to the floor. And on your inhale, reverse warrior. Keep your front knee bent as you stretch your right arm up and back. Opening up again, these right side body here, right side waist. And then wiggle the hands all the way back around to the floor, pivot to the ball of your back foot. Inhale again, open that right arm up towards the sky, find a twist. And then exhale, bring both hands down, step back into downward facing dog again. And on your inhale, come forwards into plank pose, bring the shoulders again right over the wrists. And on your exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Take your hands a little wider now off your mat. Come to your fingertips, hug your elbows in, press your toes down, and on your inhale, start to peel up into Super Cobra. Rolling the shoulders down, feeding the chest up, just coming up again to a height that makes sense for your body, sensations of your spine. And then exhale, lengthen the belly out along the mat as you come all the way down. Try that 2 more times, inhaling as you roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. And then exhale, ripple your way back down. 1 more time, breathing in. And exhaling, breathing out. Coming all the way back towards the floor. And from here, sliding the hands back underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes. Inhale, come back to your hands and your knees. And exhale, back to downward facing dog. Take the hips up and back. If there's any kind of stuck energy in the throat or in the chest, take a breath in through your nose and let it go through your mouth. And then inhale, bend both knees, look forwards. Exhale, step your feet up towards the top of the mat. Once you get there, take a halfway lift. Inhale, slide the hands up the shins. And then exhale and fold in. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand, reach your arms up over your head. Now on your exhale, you're going to come into chair pose again. I'm just going to face forwards here so you guys can see this next move. Coming into chair pose, think of chair like a sort of a half squat position. Weight back in your heels a little, toes are light. And you want to make sure that your back is not rounded and hunched forwards here. So I'm really trying to keep some length through the front of the spine. Now from here, we're going to shift our weight into, let's go with our left leg first of all. Shift the weight into your left leg and start to pick your right heel up off the floor. Now keeping that, I'm going to slowly start to pick this right foot up. Take it back behind you and over towards the left corner of your mat. Sink your knees down, coming into something that feels like a curtsy squat. Then on your inhale, come back up. Step the right foot all the way back down, come back into chair. Doing a lot of work on those lateral, again, hip stabilizers. Shift your weight this time into your right leg. Pick your left heel up just a little bit. And then start to pick the whole foot up. Reach it back behind you. Go as slow as you can. That's the key. Reach the foot over towards the right corner of the mat. Bend both knees and start to sink your pelvis down. Keep your back nice and straight. Inhale, come all the way back. And then switch. Okay, we're going to go to the first side again. Shift your weight into your left leg. Pick your right heel up. Slow and steady here. Start to reach the leg back behind you. Top left, back left corner of your mat. Bend both knees. Sink your hips down. Come back up. And set that right leg down. One more time to the right side. Right leg rounds. Left leg picks up. Reach it back behind you. Find a little curtsy squat. Working into these muscles that support your hips when you go for a run. And then come all the way back into chair pose. Stay in chair. Take an inhale here. Reach your arms up nice and high. Now on your exhale, coming into a twist, hands in prayer. I'm going to reach the left elbow towards the outside of your right knee. Now I have my feet hip width apart. You could bring your feet all the way together if you prefer. But just have a quick look down at your knees here and watch that your left knee has started to come forward. So try to square your knees so they're flush. That'll help to level your pelvis. And then press your left elbow into your right outer knee to turn your belly, chest, and heart to the right. Stay for a deep breath here. And then come back into chair pose. Inhale, nearly there, sink your hips a little low, reach your arms high. Exhale, hands in prayer, twist to the left this time, right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Turn your belly, heart, chest to your thumbs. Again, have a quick check as that right knee started to pop forwards, glue it back. Outer hips hug in. Big breath. And then inhale, come all the way back to chair pose, sink the hips a little lower, lift the arms, and forward fold. Exhale, bow over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, extend through your spine. Exhale, plant your palms. I'm going to step back into plank position, shoulders right over the wrists. Now from here, let's just set the knees down for a moment and come down onto your forearms. And I'm going to interlace the hands, elbows about shoulder width apart. Then from here, either keeping the knees down, just move them back a little, so you're in a kind of modified forearm plank. Slight scoop of the tailbone. Otherwise, a little stronger, lift both knees up, coming into your full forearm plank. Now for this next movement, take your feet about hip width apart. Keep both elbows evenly grounded and just pivot both heels over to the left side of your mat. So my upper body is in forearm plank, my lower body is in a side plank. You could definitely do this with your left knee down on the floor for support. Otherwise, stay there, hold it for a few more breaths. It's working that isometric strength, the endurance here in the side body. And then come all the way back through center. Let's go the other side. Pivot both heels over to the right side of the mat. Keep your upper body in plank. Stretch your chest forwards a little. Notice if your hips have started to really hitch up. Hips level with your rib cage. Head level with your rib cage. Hold it for 3, and 2, and 1. Come all the way back through center. Pivot to the balls of your feet. Take an inhale, and then exhale. Lower knees if they're lifted. Come all the way down onto your belly. And just take a moment to recover there with your palms stacked, resting your forehead on your hands. Come back to that nice deep diaphragmatic breath. Okay, and then from here, let's bend up the right leg. I'm going to reach back with the right hand to catch hold of the foot. Notice if the knee starts to splay out. We want to try to keep the knees about hip width apart. And then press your pubic bone into the floor and reach your right knee energetically away from you to stretch into the quads. Again, another very potent area for runners. This shouldn't cause any pain in the knee, so if it is, and just back off here. You could also put a strap around the right foot if it's difficult to grab the foot. I'm going to just spice this up a little. Stretch your left arm out in front now. And on your inhale, start to kick your right foot back. So your right arm is straight. Lift your head up, your chest up. And then finally float your left leg and your left arm up. So we're kind of half locust, half bow pose. Stay for another breath. And then go all the way back down. Switch over the legs. Right hand underneath your head. Reach back with your left hand, grab the left foot. Coming into our quad stretch. Press your pubic bone into the floor. And gently draw your left heel towards your buttock. And then slowly start to kick the left foot back. Reach your right arm out in front. And then lift the head, the chest, the right arm, right leg up. Try to stay balanced across your pelvis. Lifting and lengthening here. Front body lengthening, the back body engaged. One more breath. And then come all the way on down. Good. Releasing the left leg. Bringing both hands underneath your shoulders. We'll just come into cobra. Press the feet down. Hug the elbows in. Inhale as you curl up. Again, finding a height that serves your back today. And then exhale, lower back to the earth. Tuck the toes. And come back to downward facing dog. Hips up and back. Good. Take another couple breaths in your down dog. Again, pause and feel. one more little bit of working standing. Inhale, reach your right leg up and back. And on your exhale, step your right foot up between your hands. And I'm going to set up for high lunge here. Stay on the ball of your back foot. And on your inhale, sweep your arms up, coming all the way. Put a little bend in your back knee. Squeeze your glutes. And just soften your front ribs in. So again, you're finding that plumb line, the crown of the head down through the tailbone. Now from here, we're going to work a little bit with balance, coordination. This is again a great one for runners. We're going to lean forwards, bring your fingertips into the front of your chest. Start to shift your way into this right leg and come all the way up to stand. You can tap your left toes on the floor if you feel balanced. Bring your left knee up towards your chest. And then option here to add a twist, turn your chest to the left, reach your arms out. Come all the way back through center. And slowly hinging on your right leg, reach your left leg back and see if you can find that lunge position nice and slow. It's too much challenging. And come back to your high lunge, arms over your head. So just try that 2 more times, moving deliberately again, slowly with control. We want to feel like we have control over the range of motion. Again, option to tap the left foot on the floor. Keep it there if you need the balance. And particularly slowing down those transitions between the movements when you're going from point A to point B. Let's go one more. Great, and then the next time you come back into that high lunge position, let's take an inhale breath there. And then on your exhale, let's bring both hands to the floor. Now from here, to any degree, keep your right big toe in the heel on the floor. To any degree you can, begin to work this front leg a little straighter. And you can sort of bend and straighten this front leg, so you're just kind of working into those hamstrings. I know this is going to be an area that's often a little more challenging to get into. There may be very little movement in this, and that's totally fine. If you've got yoga blocks or something you can pop your hands onto, you can also work with your hands slightly elevated, particularly again if it's feeling a little tight through those hamstrings. Now last time, straighten that front leg as far as you comfortably can. Draw that right outer hip back a little bit more. And then option to stay here, or inhale, open your right arm towards the sky. Variation of twisted triangle pose. Stay for a breath. And then exhale, lower everything back down, press back, downward facing dog. Moving into second side. Inhale, reach your left leg up and back. Exhale, step your left foot up between your hands, setting up for high lunge. Staying on the ball of that back foot as you rise up. A little bend in the back knee. Lower abdominals engaged. And then moving into our flow here, bring the hands forwards. Start to shift the weight into that front leg. Step the right leg up. Again, maybe just tap the foot down first time, get your balance. Possibly pick the right knee up. Option to add a twist. And then slowly come all the way back through center. Stretch that right leg back. Take your time. Slowly set the foot down. And then move through again 2 more times. So we're trying to move with minimum of momentum. Makes it infinitely more challenging. So working balance, strength, coordination, flexibility. One more time. You definitely feel one side is a little less stable. My left side is definitely not my stronger side. And then next time you come back into your high lunge, pause there, take a breath. And then bring both hands down towards the floor. Back leg straight. So again, to any degree now, I'm going to start to pull the hips up and back and begin to work that front leg a little straighter. Going back and forth a few times. Again, just trying to work through some of this tightness in the hamstrings here. Some people feel this a little more behind the knee as well. Our hamstring tendons attached just below the knee. Calf tendons attached just above the knee. So there's often a lot of tightness behind the knee as well. Now the next time you pull the hips back, beginning to work that front leg towards straight. Again, if this is a lot going on, just stay as you are. You want to add on your inhale, open your left arm up towards the ceiling. Turn the belly, turn the heart. And then exhale, lower left hand down, step back, and downward facing dog. Take the hips up and back. Great, and then from here, guys, let's just slowly lower the knees down onto the floor. And we're gonna come onto the back, and we're just gonna go for piriformis. And this is an outer hip muscle, again, that in runners can get quite tight, and it's important to know how to release it. So come onto your back and bring your right thigh on top of your left thigh. And then from here, you can bring your knees in towards your chest and hold onto your knees. So if the hips are tighter, this actually might be plenty right now. Just stay as you are. If you've got a little bit more range, you can lift your head and chest up, reach down to grab your ankles or your shins, flex your feet, then lower your head and chest down and start to draw your feet towards your shoulders, like you're scissoring your lower leg bones apart. Now, if the right hip is hitched up a little bit towards you, you're not going to feel the stretch as much. So now, take that right outer hip and take it away from you towards the foot of your mat. There we go, and you'll start to feel that a lot more. You can also lift your feet up higher. That's also going to make this more intense. And then lowering the legs, releasing the feet. Keep the cross of the legs. Just pick your hips up, shift them a little to the right side of your mat, and then let both knees go over to the left into a spinal twist. Right arm out to the right. If this is too much for the lower back, if it's just a bit tweaky in there, you can uncross the legs and just stack the knees one on top of the other as you come into your twist. We haven't done a lot on the upper body. But again, runners sometimes can get quite tight in the chest, so this is also a nice one to open up the pecs. And then deep breath in, exhale, come back to the center. And we'll switch over the sides. Left thigh on top of right, so coming into our supine cow face or supine piriformis stretch. Bring both knees in. Maybe stay here, maybe reach down, grab your shins or your ankles, flex your feet, and it's a lot tighter on this side. So again, you might have one side that's a little more fiery. Again, reach your left outer hip away from you slightly so you're balanced across your hips. Gently pulling in. Deep supported breath. And then releasing the feet, pick the hips up, shift the hips a little to the left, take both knees to the right. Again, either crossing the legs over like this or stacking one knee on top of the other, rotating the left arm out to the side, letting that left shoulder drape, and then maybe turning the gaze to the left as well. Get that corkscrew across the whole length of the spine. And then deep breath in. On your exhale, come all the way back to center. Unravel the legs. And then last thing here, just bring both knees in. Take the knees a little bit wider. Reach to the inside of your ankles and hold onto them there. And then just let the legs sort of hang into the arms. So no effort. It's a nice way just to reset the pelvis, reset the lower back. Another deep breath. And then just releasing the legs, coming now into either constructive rest, knees bent, feet on the floor if that's better for your lower back, or extending the legs out, extending the arms out. Taking a long, slow breath in from your belly, filling all the way up into your upper chest. And then opening the mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Just do that twice more, breathing in from the belly, into the heart, and into the throat. Exhale, sigh it out. And one more time, breathing in, belly, heart, throat, and exhale, sigh it out. We'll take about a minute here just to rest, to absorb. And particularly if you are doing other kinds of training at the moment, cultivating regular rest and relaxation practices is as important as the strength work that you do, the dynamic work that you're doing. Remember that the nervous system interprets exercise as a kind of stress, albeit a positive stress, and we need ways to restore and rejuvenate the nervous system after periods of intensity. This is how we build a stronger and more resilient nervous system, and how we ensure that we stay injury-free, and that we can continue to really enjoy the intensity of our other movement practices. And as always, if you have a little longer to just enjoy the space, please stay. If you need to move on with your day, just slowly start to reintegrate some movement, maybe a full body stretch. Gradually bending up your knees, rolling to your right side, using your hands to make your way back up. Alright guys, thank you very much for sharing your practice today. I hope it was helpful. Again, any other requests, really happy to serve, and I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.